everyone. Welcome to this week's science lesson. And because it's our last lesson at home, I thought I'd try to make it as creative as possible so that you don't have to sit down and write a whole lot of things down, but instead get your hands dirty and do something exciting. So, you might have heard in the news recently about new landing on Mars, and people seem excited about it. So I thought, why not join in this excitement and we can actually make our own rockets? But we won't just be making any rockets, we'll be making rockets out of creative and recycled materials. So I have quite a few things here that I found in my recycling bin. Before I chuck them out, I thought, let me just save them for today's lesson. So I'm going to show you what I have. As you can see, I have my visualizer on there just to show you everything, and then we'll make a rocket together. So first of all, I saved some toilet paper rolls, which I think will be the base or just the body of my rocket. I have an old envelope, which I'm going to use. As you can see, it is used already, so I can just cut it out and cut out whatever shapes I want of it. I also have an old box, so this is the icing sugar box, which I'm going to cut and use for wings or something. You could use any box, any cardboard box you can find. You don't have to use the specific ones I'm showing you. I found some tissue paper, as you can see. This came with a gift I received recently, so I thought, why not use this today? Might be pretty. This last material might not be recycled material, so make sure to ask mom or dad if you can have some before you use it, if you decide to. Because I didn't have a lot of spare paper, I thought I'm going to use tissue paper instead. I'm going to use my envelope, so that's enough paper. And then I thought maybe for some shine, I'll add some foil. Okay, the lighting is quite bright today because it's so sunny while I'm recording this video, so I hope you can see everything. There we have our foil. So you might want to draw out what you want your rocket to look like. I have a rough idea of what I would like, so hopefully this works out. And of course you also need scissors, glue sticks. If you want, you can even use some actual glue to make them stick together properly, but just be sure to ask an adult when you're using sharp equipment. Okay, the first thing is you can either decide if you want a long rocket like this, or if you want something smaller, just use one of them. You can just have a small rocket. I'm quite intrigued by a long rocket. Okay, and I think I'm going to join it with my foil. The last of my foil, I was lucky enough to mess up my foil roll not too long ago, so I had some extra. So I'm going to measure how much foil I need around my paper roll, my toilet paper roll. Let me just test the camera, and then once I've measured it, that's where I can just take an extra piece and break it off, maybe, because foil is so easy to just break with your hand. You don't need a scissors for that. So now I've got that, and I know I'd like it to join my two paper rolls. You can first use sellotape if you like, any sticky tape if you think it's going to be better that way. I've got some super glue, so hopefully my super glue will work and do the trick. If not, I've got sellotape just in case it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to just put a dot down there, and then my 2 toilet paper rolls together. And while I'm doing this, I'm very careful not to get any super glue on my fingers. Don't want them sticking down now, do I? There we go. Make it easy peasy. You can add another dash of glue down there, just to make sure they actually stick together. Then I'll bring it around and put my last bit of glue down here. So if this doesn't work, all I can do is just use some sellotape. Should work. I mean, it's super glue. Perfect. Oops, I just got some super glue on my finger there. If you get some on your fingers, just make sure to wash your hand immediately. Otherwise, they'll feel a bit hard for the next few hours until you get them washed off. Perfect. So now, oh, it's not dry yet, it's not moved it. So now you'd want, if you use the super glue, you'd want your rocket to get dry first before you do anything else. While that's busy there drying, you can set up and get the top of your rocket ready. So that's where my paper comes in. I'm going to cut a long strip of paper down here. It's entirely up to you. You want the top of your rocket to look. So I've got paper, and what I'm going to do is just have one long strip like this, long strip of paper. Because it was an envelope, I just have to cut the other side off. There. There. It's almost like I would like it to be the roof of it, so I need to see how I can turn it to make it look like a bit of a roof for my rocket. So there we go. You'll have to measure to make it quite small, I think, because the rocket is not that big. I do that. I have something like that. You can stick them together with some glue, and we'll just pop it on the top there. Okay, so I'll add that one last. My toilet paper roll seems quite sturdy, they stuck together. So over here, you can always add some paper. I think that's where I can bring in my tissue paper for some color. I can even get some felt tips and do some decorations. Oh, I actually found these earlier, which I forgot to show you. Just some spare googly eyes. If I wanted my rocket to have eyes on the top. So on the bottom of my rocket, I'm going to make 2 small incisions like that, right opposite each other. Hopefully they're the same length. They should be. And that's where I'm going to bring in my icing sugar box. I'm going to cut one side of it, just the small side of it, and I'm going to place that in those slits which I've just cut in my toilet paper roll to make them look like my wings. So if you can cover this. Shall we cover this with our tissue paper so that it's not just a boring looking paper? So if you wanted to cover this, I can measure how much I want. If I cut these extra flaps off here, there we go. And I cut that one up there. That's how it looks now. So I really don't want this part of my box showing, so I can just put some glue on it. The reason why I'm using super glue is because it's so fast and it just sticks much better for me. If you don't have, don't worry. I mean, you can use any normal glue. I'm going to stick it down there. It's stuck already. Perfect. Let me just see the other side. It might shine through a bit, so I'll fold it again, and I'll fold it as many times as I need to until I don't see that spoon or the picture of my icing sugar anymore. Okay, I think that's perfect. Maybe one more. Remember not to make it too thick because then you'll have to cut your box again. So now I'm going to add some glue there, and just turn it over really quickly and hold it down for a few seconds. There we go. Once you're happy, lift it up, and I think I'm going to keep turning it actually until I've used most of my tissue paper. There we go. Whatever excess tissue paper you have left, or whatever paper you're using, you can just cut off. Like that. And then we might want to, because I've used a long piece of tissue paper, I have quite a bit left over here. You can always fold it in and just stick it down with some sellotape to make it easier. Or I can actually cut off quite a bit because I don't want it to be too thick for my little slits I made in my rocket. Great, I hope you're already gathering some ideas on how your rocket's going to look, because I'm quite excited to see all your wonderful ideas. Okay, so I've got some sellotape here. Just be careful when you're using scissors. Make sure you have an adult around you when you're doing that, please. And now I'm going to stick it down. It can be any sellotape, honestly. I've got some sellotape with some writing on, which is not ideal because I wanted some clear sellotape, but that's fine. Just going to stick that down there. And down there. All forms part of our recycled theme, doesn't it? And then somehow we're just going to try and get it through our slits. If your slit is too small, all you have to do is make a small little incision again, cut in there, and then pull out your little piece of cardboard. Do the same on this side. And if you have to do that a few times, that's absolutely fine. But I think mine will fit in now. Great. So, as you can see, mine's not going in completely, so I need to cut my cardboard quite a bit higher over here. So, I'm going to go as far as possible, and on the other side as well, making sure it's pretty much the same. If you want it to be exactly the same, I would draw a little line across, trace it, and see where it goes. Let's see if this one can go far enough. There we go. There are my rocket wings. Perfect. I might just have to go a little bit further to get this in. Okay, if you haven't wrapped yours with tissue paper like I did, you can just cut that bit off, but I can't seem to cut that off, otherwise I'll damage my tissue paper. Okay, there. Now I'm ready. I think this will be the last time I had to cut mine perfect. You might just want to adjust that to make it as straight as possible and even. If you want to, you can even cut them to make them at an angle, make them look like proper wings. So I have my body and my wings of my rocket. Now we can add a few more extra things, but I'd like to make the top of my rocket. You can choose how you want to make your top. You can do it like this. You can fold it over. I was thinking about something more like that, and then just letting it bend over. I think I might have left it a bit too small for that. Okay, so to go with this, I might just do a little thing like this and stick it on my rocket. Let me get some more sellotape. We'll stick it on. This is where you can start bringing out your felt tips as well. So because that's your wings, you want people to kind of see your wings. So this can go on the side here. Somehow I can bring this funky sellotape into my creativity, don't you think? Could be something. Okay, there is the top of mine, so I can choose to cut these extra bits off. If you want something different, you can even add some, maybe we can add some of my thin foil to make it look cool. I could even cut off or break off strips from my tin foil to make the flames of my rocket if I don't have any red or orange or yellow scrap paper. And to do so, all I will do is get some glue and stick them down there to make my rocket look absolutely funky and shiny in tin foil. So I think that's a brilliant idea. Give me 2 minutes and then I'll end off my video showing you the final piece of my very silly, easy peasy rocket, and then you can go off and make your own. So over here on the inside of it, I'm going to stick some of my sellotape down there so that my silver flames can stick. I'll do the same with quite a few of them until I have as many as I want, or whatever makes me happy. You can do absolutely the same. This might be the last one I add over there before I leave you to make your own rockets out of recycled materials. So there is my rocket with the little flames hanging. I might still have to put some on the other side just to complete the look and make it a lot nicer, prettier. And then I'm going to decorate my rocket with some more shiny bits, maybe. I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. I can do that. Stick it down like that. There we go. see my rocket now, and I hope it's going to look half as good as yours will. I know yours are going to look absolutely amazing because you'll use your creative juices and make use of every recycled bits of materials you have at home. I have made you a list of a few recycled materials you could find in the house. It could be old pieces of cloth you have at home, could be paper, tissue paper, cardboard, anything. And you can use your colorful markers to make them a bit more interesting as well. I could even go and get my marker now and draw some patterns on there. Anything to make your recycled rocket look really good. On the home learning sheet, you will also find a list of recycled materials I've given you, things like yogurt pots and toilet paper rolls, scrap paper, cardboard. Whatever else you find in the house that you can use them as long as they're recycled material and mom and dad doesn't need them anymore. Okay, and then don't forget to upload your pictures onto Seesaw, please. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your lovely rockets. I've also given you a few examples. You have mine here, not the best example, but you have mine here, and you have a few examples on the home learning sheet as well. So enjoy this and have fun, and I can't wait to see you back in school next week, Monday. Keep well, year one. Bye.